Hi, everybody. It's Chuck Gilmore with Power to Sing Live, number 143. What do I do with my life? I guess I just do live broadcasts. 143 is not that many, I guess, compared to a lot of other people who broadcast. However, it seems like a lot, 143 of them. And I hope they've been helpful to you. Today we're going to talk about strong mixed voice and how to get it. How do we sing with a strong mixed voice? And I think the thing I really want to focus in on is I got a question this week that was asked of me. That the question was, do I need to strengthen my chest voice, and do I need to strengthen my head voice in order to develop a mix? And I thought that was a really good question. This commenter and subscriber was really thinking about the development of the mixed voice. And so I want to talk about that today. We're going to talk about three things. We're going to talk a little bit about, number one, we're going to define mix again. We're going to talk about the first thing we have to do is establish a chest. Number two, we have to get our number two. Where's my number two? We have to get a balance, and number three, we have to learn what it feels like. So we're going to talk about these three things and answer your questions. Saying hi to Daniel. Hi, Daniel. Nice to have you here. I think I'm having a shabby sort of day. And Alan, hi. Nice to have you. Welcome, you guys, to our show today. Okay, so last weekend, I sent out a video, posted a video on YouTube, and it was entitled, what? Someone to help me with that. Mixed voice definition. And so in that video, there are some exercises there that I gave a brand new student. And I asked him if I could share this. I didn't know. We started recording. I said, can I share our video? Because what we're talking about today, I'm doing a video on. And so he said, yeah, sure, go ahead, show it. And so I recorded it, and I put some excerpts from his lesson in that. So if you haven't seen that, go back and check it out, because it's somebody who's working with mix for, at least with me, the first time. All right, so now let's talk a bit about, just make sure, guys, that you can hear me and see me okay. Just give me a thumbs up, a little note that says, yeah, we can hear you and see you just fine. That way I know we're good. I started into this when I was 43 years old, 44 years old, 33, 34. It was back in 1996, and I attended a workshop and started learning about the things that I'm teaching. And before that time, I don't think I'd even heard the word mixed voice or mixed singing, or even, truthfully, I don't remember even hearing the word chest voice and head voice. And look, I studied voice in high school and in college, at least my freshman year in college, and I had performed a lot. So it was still, and you guys, some of you know my story. Great, you can hear me. Thank you. So people that know my story know that I had a big fail, and I pretty much got so discouraged I gave up on singing. But my first love was musical theater and performing, and I had done that in high school, and I had done one show after I graduated from college, and then from that point forward, I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything for about 20 years, and now, 22 years after that, I've done about 40. I just finished my 41st show, I think it was. And so I've had the great fortune of being able to apply what I've learned in my singing. But let me just tell you straight up. I performed a solo for Mr. Seth Riggs at a workshop 6 months after I had started. and I did okay. But when I landed on the last two notes, I was pulling the chest voice up. I was spreading the vowel, and I said, Maria. Well, I was just thrilled because I'd never been able to sing an F before, and that's an F. And to be able to land on an E and not sound like I was killing myself, I tell you, I was just thrilled. But so 6 months into it, I didn't even understand. I didn't know what mix felt like. I certainly didn't know what it sounded like. And so I tried to think about, well, how long did it really take me to, and I can remember several years later, and I was actually out of active study of voice for a couple years in 97, 98, 99. I was out just listening to tapes, listening to Seth Riggs's tapes and studying the book Singing for the Stars. And then I started studying again in 2000. And then I studied diligently for 8 years. And then I was studying regularly for the next, 8, 9, 10, 11, the next 3 years, and training as a teacher and so forth. So I was studying with other teachers inside speech level singing. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm pretty sure that I didn't really start to grasp, and in such a way that I could feel mix voice, probably until about 2012. Confidently establishing my, confidently reaching for, not reaching, but confidently opening my mouth and singing in a mix, knowing it was a mix. Oh my goodness. I'm almost embarrassed to say it, but the reason why I know that is I went to do a lesson with Mr. Riggs in January of 2011, and I had 30 minutes of brilliant exercises, and then I started singing, and I started pulling chest, spreading my vowels all over the place. And so at the end of that, after I sang a song, Seth said to me, I don't know who's letting you do that. So, and I had started teaching, and I had already been performing. I performed a lot. So it wasn't that I didn't start singing. I just didn't have a grasp of mix and being able to stay in mix and being able to control mix and be able to sing loud to soft, soft to loud, and be able to, so crescendo, decrescendo, and so forth. And so I didn't have that grasp. And I found myself falling in and out of mix because of the different vowels that were coming at me. So that was, but it started to come together for me in about 2012. Now, what is that? 7 years later, I feel like I've had about 7 years of understanding and being able to do a better job of teaching mix, of hearing mix, and of appreciating mix. All right, that's my true confession. Now, I'm slower probably than most of you, so don't think that you have to wait that long. But I'll just say, and I'm not Pavarotti, but you all have heard me say this before in an interview. Someone asked him how long, or he demonstrated an F that I think was a very strong mix F. He called it a cover, but I think he was demonstrating how he could do that in powerfully in a mix. He said that sound easy. Maybe take maybe 10 years. So, but he was singing, he was performing, he was in his career, but he worked on that while he was in his career. So I guess I shouldn't feel too sheepish about it if Maestro Pavarotti spent 10 years on it, then why not me spending, and in no way did my end product sound like his, but why not 12 years to really get a sense of what I was doing and being able to reproduce that regularly. All right, blah, 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 talk. Let me get some comments from you guys, and then I'm going to jump into this presentation. And, okay, thanks, Alan, so I could hear you. Daniel, so I could hear and see me. Many congrats on the 41st show. Thank you. I just had a fabulous time playing Alfred P. Doolittle in My Fair Lady. lady. So I had to learn Cockney and all that stuff. So it was fun. It was really fun. In fact, it was very, very fun. We had a great cast and we had a great run. All right, so question real quickly here from Thiago says, hey Chuck, with the low larynx exercise, I can sing a G. Hey, all right, way to go, Thiago, a G sharp 4. But in popular songs, we don't sing with the low larynx. Why not? Why don't you sing with the low larynx? Others may not sing with the low larynx, but why not keep your larynx down? That's my question. So if we always sing the way everybody else sings, then you're just going to sound like everybody else, and end up pulling chest and not being able to hit the G sharp 4. And so you don't plan your singing life around what other people are doing. Do what's good for your voice, and I think you're going to find that you can sing an F. You can sing a G sharp 4 without the larynx coming up, and it can still sound fantastic, and maybe even better than what the popular singers are doing. That's one of the problems I've had in the past with my little girl students who come in and they want to sing like Adele, so they stand there and pull their chest for, during the song. And I try and get them away from Adele songs because they just pull the chest voice. Now I can teach them how to do that without pulling chest, but it's hard. It's hard to pull people away from mimicking their artists that they want to sound like when they're not doing it right anyway. Yeah, she hemorrhaged her vocal cords twice. So anyway, all right, let's get to this strong mixed voice feeling. So here's the situation. Do you know how to sing with a mix? Let me know in the comments below. Do you know how to sing with a mix? Yes or no? We'll make it really simple. Yes, you do, or no, you don't. Not even are you good at it yet, but do you know how to sing with a mix? Let me know in the comments. I told you that it took me about 12 years after I started studying, starting up again. And that's not counting it's not counting the couple years I was listening to CDs in my car every day and singing the exercises every day. So it takes some time, and it takes some teachers to help you. At least it did me. And hopefully this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to help you. So the question sent to me was, do I need to develop my chest voice and my head voice first before I develop my mix? And so that is the first thing we do have to do when we're thinking about developing our voice, and our mixed voice particularly, is we have to establish the chest voice. Now, I think head voice, you don't need to worry about that. That's after this, but you do have to establish chest. So for the guys, if you're saying, yes, you're in chest, sort of, but the vocal cords aren't coming together adequately, and we'll talk more about that in a minute. But you've got to be able to basically sound like you talk, unless you talk like that. I hope you don't, because it's really hard to sing when I say sing like you talk. Now, so nay, 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 nay. You want to be able to have a very spoken kind of feeling in the bottom of your voice. Down low, that's your chest voice. Ladies, nay, 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 or this one, na, 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 na. Another way to establish chest quickly is to say, ah, ah. ah, or ah, ah, ah. It's not ah, ah. It's ah, ah. Why do we need to have our chest voice established to develop your mix? Think about this for a minute. If you're going to blend two things together, and so let's back up a little bit and say, first of all, the definition of mix is a blend of chest voice and head voice coming together. So we've got chest and head participating in the tone at the same time. Now, if I didn't have my chest going, it would be So what am I mixing now? I've got some head voice coming in, but what have I got to mix? A very breathy, light, airy, very light chest. And the larynx is also coming up now because it's so light, I'm trying to help it with the extrinsic muscles. So if I don't have the chest to mix with the head voice, my mix is going to suffer. It's not going to be a strong mix. So we have to have this voice going. Ah, ah. Ladies. Ah, ah. We got to have that basic fundamental chest voice functioning. If you're saying ah, it's not going to cut it. You've got to have a firmly established ma ma ma, na na na, nay nay nay, ah, ladies, guys, ah. So that's step number one in developing a strong mix. You want to have established that chest voice. And it's really as simple as ah, ah. Do it like you talk. If you said A, B, C, D, E, F, G, if you were just saying A, B, C, D, E, F, G, but then you sang A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So do it like you talk, if you talk normally. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nope. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nope. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It doesn't have to be loud, but it just has to be adequate. The vocal cords have to come together adequately in your chest voice, down low. Nay, 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 no, 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 no. All right, so that's the first step. In order to develop a strong mixed voice, you've got to establish that chest. All right, so let me get a couple comments in here. Alan says, Chuck, can you help me figure this out? When I sing from low to high or vice versa, low to high or high to low, the tone is connected, so there are no cracks or breaks, but I'm not sure it's 100% head voice. There is a little breathiness in it. I've been hearing about so-called reinforced falsetto, and I wanted to be sure. I think the idea of a reinforced falsetto is somewhat a misnomer, because falsetto is a disconnection. So you're either in falsetto or you're not. If you reinforce it, I'm thinking you're probably you're getting some connection. So that would be a light head voice. I just don't like the phrase reinforced falsetto, unless you're just doing a loud falsetto or something. Anyway, so if you're in falsetto, the chords are disconnected. If you're not in falsetto, which it doesn't sound like you are, then it's probably head voice, unless you're pulling the chest up. So, Alan, if you said, and let's just have, well, we can have everybody do this. Guys, you start down here, just sing, ah, and that takes you up from chest up to the head voice, to the G4. Now, what does that feel like? Ah. Go up up a step. It's all connected tone. I'm going through when I'm in my bridge, I'm in my mix. When I get up to the G4, the G sharp, or the A flat and the A, I'm in head voice. Okay? So it's the same coordination, the same feeling. Now, if Alan, if you were saying, in other words, if you let go of the chords, or if you relax them, it's still a light head voice because you didn't disconnect altogether, but it might be that you're just backing away from it or something on the way up. Now here's what I want you all to do. Girls, you can do it from C to C. That's where you want to be, ladies. Takes you right through your bridge. Actually, that takes you all the way to the C sharp to C sharp, and that takes you right through your first bridge. Now, what does that feel like? Let me know. Tell me in the comments. It feels like you're pulling chest. It feels like you're losing. Alan, when you do that, are you able to maintain a consistent tone all the way through there, or is it changing? Is it changing up? Are the vocal cords relaxing? Is the larynx might be coming up a little bit? I'm pulling the larynx up. So it might be the larynx is coming up. It might be that the vocal cords are relaxing a little bit or going lighter because the larynx is coming up. Any number of reasons. So do this. This is what we did in the video on Saturday. So go back and check it out and watch. His name is Noah. Watch Noah do it. First time he ever did it. On the way up, on about number 5, change it from to Try that and see if it stays more consistent. See if you feel something different when you do it that way. Ladies, same thing. About the 5th one up, go from to Tell me, what's it feeling like when you do that? This is what we did in the last video, but we didn't do it live. So I'd love to hear what you're feeling there. Let me get a couple of these other things under. Get these comments out of the way. Hello, I'm 1 year in and I'm still pulling chest. Okay, that's you heard my comments about that. I have a question before we start proper, if you don't mind. Does the order of the exercises matter? I assume they should be done daily. Yeah, Daniel, I do them in the order that I've given them. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Saviso. Hi, nice to have you here today with us, and good evening to you. Do I be on? Any improvements, Malik? I think head sound for. Martha, Martha, Gabriel. So true. I've been singing so long, 2 hours for time a week. Just when you guys started to understand what it was high time to check what's going on inside. Understand that it was high time to check what's going on. Yeah, so it's so true, and you can do it wrong for years. I have. Mohammed said, "Hello, I am a Quran reciter from Iran, and I do your exercises, and they are great. Thanks." Hey, Mohammed, thank you. Thanks for your comment, and good luck there. And I'm very excited that you are a reciter. That is awesome. Okay, Safiso says he does. No, I don't, which I think is talking about mix. Daniel, I'm going to err on the side of assuming I don't. Don't know how to mix. All right, so we're getting some of these responses back to the question: do you know how to mix? Do you sing with a mix? And let me know if you haven't answered that question. Karma, the band, woo, that makes me feeling high. Is this just real life? Is it just fantasy? Yeah, some people say when they're singing that, it does kind of make their heads feel a little. Ah, you can feel the vibration moving up into your head. That's a good sign. That means you're going through the bridge mixing, and you're getting up into your head voice. And ladies, same thing. So Thiago says, I don't know if I'm pulling chest, and if I'm using the mix, or if I'm singing with my head voice. Yep. It takes a while to figure out all these feelings. And that's kind of what this is a little bit about. Adrian says, I know how, mix head with with chest, as simple as that, in words. Okay. Karma, thank you, and thank you, Karma. Harry Potter is a singer, apparently. Hey, Daniel, Uri, nice to have you here today. Daniel Uri. Harry Potter, I think, he says, I think I can, but I'm not sure if that's mixed voice because it sounds funny to me. Okay, maybe today's going to help you. Coco, yes, I'm still losing my placement in some songs. Okay, I understand that. Inyur, hi, Inyur, nice to have you here. Breeby, hi, nice to have you here. Daniel, reinforced falsetto is head voice with a slightly higher larynx than normal. Why don't we just call it that, Daniel? Why don't we just set a low larynx head voice with a slightly higher larynx? Why don't we just call it a high larynx falsetto rather than reinforced falsetto? Why don't we call it a head voice with a high larynx? I don't understand. I think it's a little bit confusing, Daniel. I don't know what you think. Thanks for that comment, though. Head voice with a slightly higher larynx. So it's a high larynx head voice. How do you know if you're mixing? Ivan, here's how you can tell if you're not mixing. And this is kind of topic number 2, because there's certain things that if they're happening, you know you're not mixing. If you said, ah, if the larynx comes up, you're not mixing. You're pulling up the chest. Ah. If it cracks and breaks on the way up, you're breaking into falsetto. So you're flipping in the falsetto. So that's not a mix. If you have a very, if there's no chest voice, technically, I suppose you could say that's a mix, but I wouldn't want it to sing with. So I would say it's a, rather than a mix, I would call that a light chest voice. I wouldn't even call it a mix, because there's just not any chest. You're mixing, you're blending in with the head. Yeah, it's connected, but larynx is high, and anyway. So those three things, if they're present, I wouldn't call it a mix. For sure, on the first two, pulled up chest, flip into falsetto. And so the larynx needs to be, now, yes, so we've already talked now about a high larynx head voice. See if I can do that, Daniel. I guess that's high larynx, but it's sure not reinforced falsetto. Okay, so there has to be, so the larynx needs to be where you speak, kind of at resting, at speech level, at the level where you talk. If it starts to go up,
you don't talk that way. Why would you sing that way?
Or you don't talk that, even when you're doing the dopey sounds. That's not that's not speech level, pulling the larynx down. Speech level is just the larynx resting where you speak. Ah, and I'm not going to drive it down when I go lower. Ah, ah. That's the E. I have a cold today. You can probably hear it. So the chords are a little swollen. Um, so you have those elements. The larynx is low or at speech level where you speak. It's resting there. If the larynx is being manipulated up or down, it's probably not going to be what you would term mix. Um, not in the ideal sense of the word. If the chords aren't coming together appropriately, it's easy to pull the larynx up because the extrinsic muscles are starting to grab to try and get more sound out of it. And so if you're doing that, it's probably not going to be a mix. It's light chest, no chest, or it's like no chest. That's right. Or it could even be falsetto. That's all falsetto, so that's not a mix. So Alan, it helps to know what it's not, and that kind of gives you a little bit of. Now here's a little bit of reference. Now here's another thing. You have a balance. There's a balance between the air and the muscle. Now, you, I suppose, could be in an imbalanced mix, but just in terms of being able to develop your mix. So now we're kind of talking about how do you get this mix. You want to do these exercises that I've given, and you want to do them at a medium loud volume, nothing loud, just medium, and you want to get so that the air and from the lungs and the vocal cords are playing nice together. A nice relaxed chest voice. It really helps to have this balance. There's not too much air being forced through. There's not too much squeeze from the muscles, and there's not too much vocal cord in it. So in other words, I'm not. You can hear there that the vocal cords were closing too hard. So we want a balance. We want about the same amount of air and the same appropriate chord closure, so that everything is flowing nicely between the air and the vocal cords as you're creating that tone. And so the exercises help you do that. The exercises help you do it. And also doing it not too loud. And here's another indication that you're not in mix. If you're singing and all of a sudden the word goes wah and splats, if I said, hey Jude, don't make it bad, take a sad song. So I splatted the word song. The vowel spread, and so I pulled up the chest. So if the vowels are opening beyond where we normally use them, and we don't say take a sad song, we say take a sad song. Take a sad song, song. But if I said song or song or broke, something like that, then you know that's not mixed. So by splatting the vowels or the words with the vowels in it, you can kind of sense that something is not right. You're not in mix. Probably pulling the chest or breaking into falsetto or going too light and breathy and airy, so the vocal cords are losing their coordination and so forth. Okay, so if these things are present, then you're in a position to develop strength and power in your mixed voice. So the positive is true then. The larynx is down. The cords are appropriately adducted. There is a balance between the air and the muscle. You're doing the exercises regularly, comfortably, and successfully. And the vowels are staying appropriate for the words. If you have to narrow it slightly to keep the words from splatting or spreading open, then you do that. So those are all indications that, and those are all ways to build and develop a powerful mix. It's not very, it's not that you don't just do one exercise and say, there it is. Well, you could, but you wouldn't know what you were doing, and you wouldn't know how you did it, and you wouldn't be able to do it again, likely. So it's muscle memory. You're training your body to do things differently. Okay, let me take a couple comments here. Let's see, where are we here? Harry Potter says, it feels like my voice is coming from my face. Well, it's leaving your face. So you could say that. I mean, the sound's coming from here, Harry, right here, and it creates a vibration that comes up here, hits the hard palate, if you're especially in your chest voice, and then the tongue and the mouth form a vowel and maybe add a consonant, and then you have a word, and then it exits out. So it is coming from your face. The sound is coming from your face. And even if I'm in a mixed voice, I still have some, there's still some vibration that feels like it's up here and in my, above the roof of my mouth and down in my mouth, but it still feels like it's coming out of my face as opposed to my hands or my arms or whatever. I'm just teasing. I'm just kidding. Mr. TB2RVD. Hi, Chuck. If one wants some more support while singing the high notes, is it good to practice to support with your lat muscles too? Since I've been told not to flex abs because it will cause strain. So yeah, it's a little simpler than that. Mr. T. So if I pull my tummy, if I just stand up straight, so I kind of lead with my ribs, just pull my shoulders back a little bit. We'll just start right here, okay? And if I just let this relax, air goes in my lungs. I'm relaxing, but when I'm relaxing, the diaphragm drops. So the tummy comes out, air goes in. And then while I'm using my air, I just pull those in, but as gently. I don't jerk them in. Pretend like there's a little thread, just a tiny string behind your belly button, and you pull it in as you're using your air. So if I'm doing bubbles, for example, on bubble lips, I'll take a breath. Notice my tummy's still in, but when I let go of it, I'll reload with air. Or sing, or speak, or whatever. It's that simple. There's not too much more to it. It takes a little while to coordinate that. But if you want to go to my website and go to the right on the hourglass and search breath control, and there'll be episode number 15. Watch that one. Episode number 15 talks more about that. It's a good one, and it helps you. Josephine, TLM Army. Hi, nice to have you here, Josephine. CSI, love your channel, Chuck. Thanks a lot. Thanks, CSI. Nice to have you back again today. LOKLKDFC and many other letters. Will the mixed voice be stronger, and I can then sing normally and mix? When only your pulled chest and mix exercises. And do you know how long it takes for singing in mix? Let me see. Will the mixed voice be stronger, and then I can sing normally in mix? Yeah. So when you don't have to have a strong mix to sing in mix. It can be a light mix, And it can be not loud. It can be a medium loud or even soft mix. So that's pretty light, but that's chest to mix to head voice and back down again. So it doesn't have to be loud, and you can still be in mix. In fact, it's easier, I think, to first start out lighter, not loud. When only pulled chest and when I only pulled chest and mix exercises. Don't know that what I can't quite get the meaning on that. Do you know how long it takes for singing in mix? I think you can get it pretty quickly. You should be able to get it. Your teacher, or when you're doing the exercises as I demonstrate, you should be able to get in your mix right away. The challenge is staying in a mix and being aware of what it feels like and being able to find it. That's what's the hard part, is undoing the old thing and getting new muscle memory. So I think it can happen pretty fast, but as far as like singing songs with it, predictably and well, I think you're talking about a longer period of time. Depends on how diligent you are in teaching. But I've already, maybe you joined us late, but for me to really have a good handle on my mix, 11 years, 12 years. Daniel, what about you? Be curious. Daniel's an experienced teacher and singer. Josephine says, can you suggest us songs to practice as a beginner? Well, yeah, it depends on what you're wanting to. I think that maybe a good song for a beginner is Bette Midler's song, The Rose. Is that what it's called? I think that's a really good one to start with, Josephine. And it gets you down in your chest voice and kind of helps you get your bearings a little bit. I think that's a good one. Muhammad says at the high notes, like B4 to C5, the percentage of head voice should be more normally. Yes, it should be all head. Muhammad, by then you're in head voice. It should be head, and if it's not head, it'll crack. So some good tenors sometimes bring a little bit too much chest up there, and then they crack on the B flat and B. So by the time you're at the G, you should have your head voice only going and not bringing up the chest beyond that. That's a great question. You don't need to add a chest, Mohammed. So if I said, if I tried to add chest, I would yell, and I would crack or break, or at least I would strain my voice. So you don't want to add chest. Daniel says, yeah, reinforced falsetto is hard to explain. It's like a light connected, pure head voice. I don't think it can be done with a low or neutral larynx. Okay, at least Daniel can. Slim, hi, nice to have you here. I'm doing well, thanks. I do have a cold today, Slim Shady, and you guys can probably hear it. While I'm speaking, I'm feeling pretty good, but I've spent some moments today where I've been like, ugh. Reinforced falsetto, Daniel says, can connect to a light mix and chest. Reinforced falsetto connect to a light mix and chest. Okay. Yeah, or in other words, a high larynx head voice. Get rid of that. I just don't like using falsetto. Falsetto to me is disconnected. So it's a light head voice with a high larynx, and it will, that makes sense to me. It will connect to light mix and chest. Daniel says, don't stop till you get enough. Okay, by Michael Jackson is reinforced falsetto, for example. Okay, I'm going to have to listen to that, Daniel. I don't know that one. But I'm pretty sure that Seth didn't say this is reinforced falsetto. I'm pretty sure. Thiago, your chest will vibrate a lot if you're using your chest voice. It will vibrate a little if you're using your mixed voice. And it will barely vibrate if you're using head voice. Thiago, you're dialing into it, buddy. Your getting to know your voice. You're getting to know your body and what it feels like. So, oh, you read it on the internet? I thought you were describing what you're feeling. Now, can you feel that, Thiago? Okay, Muhammad says, what's your opinion about getting the larynx tired after one performance or 2 hours exercising? Also the warm-ups and cool-downs. The voice doesn't have the first quality and the lowest note from E2 to G2. So, Muhammad, are you performing that long? What's your opinion about getting the larynx tired after one performance or 1 to 2 hours exercising? Also with warm-up and cool-down. So I think if you're performing for 2 hours, you should probably practice for 2 hours. If you're performing for 30 minutes, you can practice 30 minutes. You'll be fine. So you practice as long as you perform, and maybe a little bit more. I think that it's always a good idea to have a warm-up before you. I like to warm up about 30 to 45 minutes, sometimes 45 minutes to an hour, really. I like to warm up 45 minutes to an hour before I go on stage, before I audition, whatever I'm going to sing. That's when my voice feels its best. I need that much time for my voice to get ready. And cool downs are, I think, really wise. I used to cool down particularly a lot when I played Captain Hook the first time in Peter Pan, and because I was being pretty rough on my voice that time, I did it a second time, and I didn't need to do a cool down. But I could tell that my voice was tired, and I was probably doing too much kind of stuff. I don't know. But in those circumstances, a cool down is very welcome, and it feels so good, like a vocal massage. All right, so let's talk about the third thing here, and that is learn what it feels like. So I'm going to refer back again to the last video I uploaded on the weekend. Go back and experience that. If you've joined us late, and halfway up from or about 5 up, turn to, let it go from to you can start to feel it mix. You can start to feel it go into your head, and or ladies here, or you can stay on the whole time. That vowel will cause you to mix, and that's what it starts to feel like. Now, you need to begin to identify that feeling and to be able to distinguish it from that. And if you can't feel the difference, you've got some more practicing to go, because one is pulled chest and the other was mix. And so you've got to. So join us this coming Friday. We're going to have more video. This is part 2 of the video I uploaded, where my student, I give him some exercises to start building in the mix, start making it stronger and feeling more firm, more secure. Now, it's only his first lesson, so we've still got some time to go, but you'll want to catch that. Now, if I said, do it like this and say, gee, 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 go, 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 go. Gee, 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 go, 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 go. Now, if I were saying, gee, 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 go, 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 that would be just chest. But I'm saying, gee, 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 gee. A little bit of a hooty sound there. The larynx is down. Gee, 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 go, go, go. And I'm leaving the go in the same place the gee was. Gee, go, 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 go. That's when you start to feel a mix. If I said, gee. Now, ladies, you'd be up here. Gee, 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 go, 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 go. If you did it wrong, it would be gee, 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 gee. You would be in chest on the first one, and on the second one, you'd be in chest. Gee, go. So the vowels spread open and you feel that pull. So you want to start distinguishing the difference between the feeling of the pull and the mix. Don't change the vowel. If it goes, then you know you've lost that mix. That vowel helps you stay in that pocket, and it gets you right into that smaller place where your mix is. You can hear it. It's vibrating here, down here, and up here in my head. One is pulled chest, one is mix. Now, it may not be big and powerful yet, but that's the first step. You've got to begin someplace, right? Okay, so that's the last point, is that we have to learn to begin feeling what it feels like. So that way, eventually, you're going to be able to say, no, 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 and be in your mix. Or, no, 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 no. And rather than, no, 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 rather than just jumping in and pulling. So there's a certain feel that I've learned to feel, and I can lean into that and not have it go in the chest. Go 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 go. So those are all mix. Well, chest to mix, to head voice and back down. So it takes a little time, but these beginning exercises so watch the videos this coming Friday and watch the ones from last weekend, because those are going to reinforce everything we've talked about today. Also, here's the thing. Go get your vocal type. I'll put a card up. Right now it's in the description below this video. And I'll add a card later on, and I'll edit a card in. That'll be up in the, up here in this, right up here in this corner here. So, yeah, with the little eye on it. And you can download a PDF that says, get my vocal type. That PDF will take you to a vocal test, and you want to get your vocal type. Are you pulled chest, high larynx? Are you mix? Are you flip falsetto? Are you light chest, no chest? And then there are exercises for your vocal type that will help you get into mix. It'll help you find your mix. The light chest, no chest, it gets you established in chest first, and then takes you in exercises that if you do them as demonstrated, they'll get you into a mix. And so these exercises you can get and download them from this PDF. It'll save you time. Download the PDF and then take the vocal test and get your vocal type, and then download those extras. Watch the videos about your vocal type so you really understand what's going on. I explained how to do the exercises, and they're going to help you get into your mix. So, and that's what you've got to start there to build a strong mix. You've got to start. You don't just start out with a strong mix. Just like anything. You don't stand up to the plate the first time you hit a baseball and knock it over the fence. It's like anything. You don't take your first tennis lesson and start serving aces all the time. All right, so I'm going to finish these questions up, and then I've got to go. Okay, so Thiago has a couple questions here. I'll put my hand on my chest. I felt my mixed voice starting at the C4, and my head voice starting on the E4, and F sharp 4 is the top of my range. Well, it is right now, Thiago, but that's not where it's going. You're still developing. I read that C4 and F4 are low tenors passaggio. No, that's too low for the tenor. No, they are the tenors and baritones are E4, F sharp, and don't sound at all. But I don't sound like a tenor at all. Yeah, no. The tenors and baritones are clearly at E, F sharp. If you start to bridge down on the C4, That's not a bridge. Daniel says, regarding the exercises, do they actually change you physically? Like stretch your vocal cords for range or something? Or is it simply down to working on technique? Daniel, that's an interesting question. I used to wonder that if my teacher was trying to change my voice. And it's not. It's relearning. It's gaining new muscle memory. The vocal cords help you develop new muscle memory so that you can stay in mix. You can find it and stay in mix. So you can go from loud to soft. So you can go from high to low with a technique that works for your voice and makes it better. So your vocal cords will only stretch so far. And yeah, some of this is about getting a workout, but you don't develop your voice by taking it to the maximum all the time. Occasionally, once in a while, but just like any other workout, when you're playing soccer, you don't kill yourself on the exercises, and then you gradually work into everything that we learn to do. Adrian, thanks for today. Power to sing. I'll be going now to sleep. Adrian, good night, and thank you. Sweet dreams, Adrian. Okay, so Muhammad, will you please say the Instagram address? It's at Gilmore. At Power to Sing. At Power to Sing. And you can put Chuck Gilmore in there. I think you'll find it. At Power to Sing. Daniel, so you change you neurologically. That's very cool. Yeah, it creates new muscle memory. The vocal cords have neurons in them, and they can learn. Otherwise, I would never have been able to learn vibrato. I couldn't do that. But I taught, I started doing exercises that allowed the vocal cords to memorize it and say, oh, I could do that. And they started doing it. Thanks for replies today. It really helped me a lot. Good, Alan. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for joining me, and I hope this has been helpful. These things are critical. Every one of these things are critical to develop a strong mix. It's just not overnight, but it's so worth it. And it's such a pleasurable, enjoyable journey. And then your singing becomes so fun, and you look so much forward to the high notes, and you look so much forward to showing off a little bit, and it's an amazing and wonderful technique that you can use in your performances and your songs that really makes a difference. So I'm Chuck Gilmore with Power to Sing Live number 143. You can sing higher with beauty, confidence, and power. I'll see you inside the next video. Thanks, everybody.